Hi everyone, it's Sally. Welcome back to my channel and my studio here. I wanted to show you a little golden book journal that I made. This one was the first one that I ever made, the first little golden book journal I've ever made. And it is one that I'll keep for myself. The Poky Little Puppy was my favorite book as a child, one of my favorite books, and I memorized it in the first grade and read it to the kids in the classroom. So I have a huge affinity for this little book. I just love it to death. So I was really happy to make a journal out of it as my first attempt. So I thought I'd share it with you, and then later I'll share with you some that I've made to put on my Etsy store. Okay. All right. Well, this is the original cover. It's the original size of the book. I don't cut off the cover because I want to put the fabric over and not cover up any of the page. Also, I have buttons on the spine, which is what I learned from Gail Agostinelli. Thank you, Gail. And the difference between how I do it and how she does it is that I just sew through, I sew the signatures in with waxed linen. I come out the spine and through the button and back in. And so there are no strings down the spine. It's just the buttons. And I like the way that looks. So that's the way I do mine. The back of it is the regular back of the little golden book, and the top has some fluff sticking out due to things that I've put inside. The sides have some things. I don't have any dangles on this one on mine. I may add some later. I don't know for sure. But I do have some tabs and different things. So let me get into it and show it to you. The closure is a hairband, and it's just slipped through an eyelet on the back, and then Tim Holtz knob on the front, and so that closes it up. On the inside, I have a fabric spine. The original page here wasn't written on, so I left it like it is, and then I have a video on my video on my YouTube channel that shows how I get these golden papered, gold foil paper off of the spine all in one piece. It's really easy and it's really quick. And the reason I like to do that is, number one, it's just easier to do than to try to tear off or cut off the cover. And also, I like putting it here on the first page of the book because to me this little golden spine just says little golden book, and so I didn't want to lose it. So I put it on the first page. Okay, so let's go through here and see what we have. This is the first page of the book, of course. All of the pages of the book are in the journal, all in order. So on every one of the pages, of the book pages, I have put one of these little metal clips. So as you look down the spine, you will see all these little metal clips. Those are the pages of the book. If you wanted to just go through and read the book, you could do that. All right, so this page has scrapbook paper and a couple of stickers. This is a fabric flip. Has a little dog. That's a little green doggy. I don't know if you can see that. He has a little bitty body and a great big head. Can you tell? Can you see that? I thought he was cute. He's a button, but I cut the shank off and attached it with glue. And then the rest of this is a fabric flip, and you can journal underneath it. And this is a little, actually, Melody Bells sheet from the Melody Bells booklet. Did any of you play Melody Bells when you were little kids? I'd kind of forgotten about it until I found this book in my mama's things. And It was a little set of bells. Well, it was regular sized bells. I mean, big bells, but they were colored. Each bell was a different color, and so you could follow the color code to play the songs, and that was lots of fun to us. This is a just a writing page from a primer from a writing book, school book, and a rubber stamp. What I plan to do with this book, because it was my favorite book as a child, I plan to record in these various places the things I remember from my childhood. And I think that would be interesting information for my family down the line. You know, perhaps my great-great-grandchildren would be interested in what life was like for me as a kid. In here is just a little, I have a lot of little doggies in this. This is a card, so you can journal inside it. I have a lot of little doggies in this book to be little friends with the Poky Little Puppy. And then on this side is another little library pocket with a, I think that was a rub-on actually, a true story. And then this cute little tag. This is the funniest little tag. Isn't that the cutest thing? Those little doggies all hanging on the line. This is a tag that was made in a workshop with Anima Designs, and it's walnut ink and Crayola, and then this is just a little fabric tie that I put on it. So there's that. Scrapbook paper and a little tab I made, homemade tab. This is a napkin. Okay, and tea-dyed paper. There are tea-dyed papers in here. On this page is a little corner flip, so I can journal on that. You can't journal on it, but I can, since I'm keeping this book. And here's a little scrapbook paper that had little paw prints on it. So I made this little journaling book so that you could write little stories in it or whatever. So that's a great place. Oh, I put little, oh, that one came off the string, I guess. Anyway, I put little doodads, little blingy doodads in there. And a picture of a little doggy. Here's a little guy with his dog. Isn't he the cutest thing? This corncob pipe. Another page of the book. This is a small little page. Came from one of my plant books, I think. And this right here is a transparent pocket. And this little booklet slipped in it. I just made this from some scrapbook paper. A little booklet to write in. So that can go right in there. If I can get it back, it would be lovely. I may have to... Oh, I think it's turned under there. Yeah, I believe it is. So I think I'm going to have to mess with that later. I'll get that put in. I'll get that put back in. I'll leave it here so I'll remember it. And then I have this picture is a belly band put on with washi tape and just a makeshift little tag piece to remind me that I want a flip out tag here. So I need to work on that and get that finished. Then this is paper. This is temper paint on newsprint. I did a, well, it was kind of an art therapy class one time, and we were to just slap temper paints on. There was a different color brush in each one of the cans of temper paint out to the side of us, and we would just slap this on newsprint until we filled it up, and then we'd put it over somewhere else. It was a lot of fun. This is some kind it's, you know, not vellum, tissue paper that's adhered to this and washi tape. There's a little envelope with the little guy on it. I get a little tickled at those little stickers. And here's a little girl having tea party with her brother and her little doggy. In a coffee dyed envelope. And clipped on with a triangular clip. Rubber stamp. This is a vellum piece, probably from Tim Holtz. This is ledger paper from Seven Gypsies. A little piece from a children's book, alphabet book. Here's a piece of decorative paper that I bought, designer paper. These little holes are semi-transparent. You can see through them. I think that's pretty neat. This is a napkin. Here is a rubber stamp. Rubber stamp. This was one piece of an accordion story called Katie Turns Around. It was done by Muybridge, and I thought that was really cute. And another page in the book. This is a watercolor and coffee stained page with a napkin on it, and a little tab with a plant picture in the circle. Scrap of paper. Just a little envelope with a little doggy in it. Place to jot down something in journaling if you want to. Graph paper. This is an envelope with gesso and watercolor on it, and the window came loose, so I peeled it back, and when you use a heat gun to dry things, it does that to the window on the envelope, so be careful. So I added a Tim Holtz little, not transparency, what is it? Okay, I'm going to have, you know what, video amnesia. It means I can't think of things while I'm videoing. On this side is a little fold-up pocket tuck spot, the little tag with a vintage advertisement on it, and Tim Holtz paper dolls on the back. Coffee dyed tissue paper. These are just various journaling cards that I got from different places on scrapbook paper. And this is a little picture from a vintage reader, child's reader. In fact, this was the reader that I read from when I was little. And this is Dick. It's a Dick and Jane and Baby Sally. Do you remember all that? If you're old enough, you'll remember those. I was always Baby Sally, and I'll show you why in a minute. So here's an actual piece from the book. There's Sally. Look, Jane, look, Dixie, funny Sally, funny, funny Sally. And here's another Sally tag. This was a different vintage book, not the original, but still Baby Sally and Dick and Jane, etc. On the back I have a lesson 22 from a little workbook and a flashcard. And I don't know if you can see, this tab has a little picture on it of a boy and his dog. Scrapbook paper, tissue paper. The other end of that envelope with the gesso and watercolor on it, and it has a little pocket where I put this little book called Embrace the Journey. And all it is a place to put some little miniature journaling cards. So there's two on the inside and one on the front. And, oh, I need to coffee dye the backs of these, and one on the back. Just a little extra place to write. A tab. Coffee dyed graph paper. Here's a cabinet card, an old antique cabinet card from Shreveport, Louisiana, of a little boy and his tiniest little goofy looking dog. It almost looks like a statue. And then this page has a little fabric collage on it with ribbon and muslin and crochet, etc. It's all fabric. And then the next page in the book, some more coffee dyed paper. And this has a little tag with a little doggy on it. I'm going to have to glue that, I guess. I didn't get it on there hard enough, tight enough. And here's a little journaling card on this, inside this clip. I think this is a Tisha Moore stamp. I'm not certain of it, but I believe it is. There's some more of that paper. Here's another picture pocket from the Dick and Jane books, and just a journaling card. Another journaling card that is in a photograph of a dragonfly that I have on with washi tape. The other end of that tissue paper page on the back of the tempera paint. And then this was a short little paper from, I think probably a watercolor book, I mean a scrapbook paper. And this is a little resin covered button with a flower and a little bow in it. Another page of the book. Here's a darling little doggy pinned onto the lace on the page with a rusted safety pin. And he's got a little place if you wanted to write. His name's on the back, Peppy the Second. He's pretty cute. Scrapbook paper. And this is just a little flip piece that I have. Pocket has 2 pockets on the front with little girls and their dogs. And one on the back. Those were cute. Then a little piece of craft paper, and this is a tag inside here with this darling dog. Isn't that the cutest thing? A place to journal on the back. And then this page flips out so you can journal all here. The rest of the Melody Bells playing. And then this little tiny miniature Poky Little Puppy book with all of the pages. I love my little miniature Poky Puppy books. I just slip it down in that little pocket. Now, between the signatures, I think you can see on the top and the bottom here that these 2 signatures were pretty far apart after they got sewn in. So I stuck in another one of these little cards with the pockets, 2 pockets on the front and 1 on the back, and I put eyelets in there, and I tied some ribbon bows on there just to take up some of the room, just to, you know, give you something fun to look at. And then I used dental floss and a circular or curved upholstery needle. I'm going to show you one of those. I think the one I used was a little bigger than this one. I think it went right here, but I couldn't find it to show it to you. But it was just a little bit larger than this one. So they're curved, and that means that I could put the needle in and it would curve right back out so that I could go through the fabric spine, but not all the way through the board spine to the back. So they're just tied in with that, in those 2 places, with dental floss. I thought that was fun. And then the second signature, here's a paper bag with a tag in it. I think this is Tim Holtz paper, pretty sure. And this was just decorated with rub-ons and gesso and watercolor paint. And then it's a belly band, and on the inside is this little book with doggies on it and some vintage ledger background. And then there's just a place to write. So that goes right in there, and there's this little tag right here. And in this pocket are just some journaling cards, and then a little picture of some girls and boys and their dog, a little family. A bingo card, and another little picture of a little boy with his dog, I think's darling. So that's just a fun place. Then I put in bingo because, you know, there was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, so I put that song in with the little bingo button. Scrapbook. This was gesso and watercolor. Here's another pocket from the Dick and Jane books. And inside this little pocket is a tablet with a lace top and some, just some different papers, pastel looking papers that can be journaled on. More journaling spot. Here's a couple. These are little transparent pockets, like that one I showed you at the front of the book, in the other signature. And they just have little pieces of pictures of little dogs and just some little sentiments on the back. These pockets I'm having trouble with because I didn't glue it down well enough. I'm going to have to go back and fix my book. Fix my book. Okay, and another page from the book, and another watercolored ledger page. This little trim came from K & Company. This is all coffee stained. And these just have this little, has just a journal card in it that I bought from somewhere or other. Hobby Lobby, I think. This envelope is decorated with ink. It's rubber stamp ink from rubber stamp ink pads, and I use a brayer to roll the ink on. And before I roll it on, I squirt the brayer with water and make it real watery like watercolors. I really like how that works. And then this is just a scrapbook page, very familiar to most of you, and a little piece that I thought matched it in that little tag. This is coffee dyed paper, but I put some gold and copper powders to dry in it. That worked really well. This looks like Norway and Sweden or something. I don't know. There's just a little card, a little dictionary card. Yeah, school card. And another piece of that paper. This is rub-on to decorate the top of it. And then scrapbook paper and coffee dyed paper. Here's a paper bag that I used some distress ink on and washi tapes to put it on with. And it just has a little Tim Holtz card, journaling card. The story begins in there. And then this is a Tim Holtz paper doll, and behind it's a tuck spot, and so behind it I have this little miniature envelope. File folder. And this is a photo I got at an antique store of a little boy, age 5, in 1912. Little girl with washing her dog. I thought these were awesome little pictures. There's a little boy with his dog. So I just slipped those inside this little tiny, teeny, tiny folder. Closed it up with a paper clip. Stuck it in the tuck spot. This is a fabric pocket, and it's actually a double pocket. When you take the tags out, you can see there's a pocket in the back and a pocket right here. This is what I call a Franken tag. It's just different papers put on here and sewed around them. And then on the back, it's just a decorative little piece. And this is just a Tim Holtz tag, journal spot. Here's a little doggy. This is paper. I made this, let's see, in a workshop with, oh darn, I'm not going to be able to think of her name. Claudia Helmuth. I was in one of her workshops. That was very fortunate. And this is masking tape with pearlized paint over it. So I made it into a little journaling card. That was a really fun workshop. She wrote a book after that about those different kinds of ways to make tags. And this is a gigantic Franken tag that I love. It's the whole page. It's as tall as the whole page. More of my little transparent pockets on this tag with just little journaling spots. I think this one opens. The other one's just a spot with a place on the back. Uh-oh, sorry, I hit the camera and got you rocking. Hope I don't make you sick. These are rub-ons. This is Franken paper. I think I learned that from Nick the Booksmith. And now lots of people do it, so I've seen it. But I first saw it on her channel. These are, of course, Tim Holtz paper dolls, and behind the whole thing is a Franken paper, sort of, with rub-ons on it. And then I put these little journaling places just behind their heads, just to give it some uh-oh, I think this one goes down here. I don't know, I don't remember how they went. And this one probably goes up here. Yeah, like that. Then, here's the back of that Franken page. And what I like to do with things that I want to be able to take out, and I don't want to just glue it down, because this is a little piece of journaling that I can do just a fold out. And so I put it in photo pockets, and that's what I do when either there's something on the back that I don't want to glue down, or, you know, there's some reason that I want to be able to get it out, journal on it, or whatever. So I put it in photo corners. Okay, and then this tracing paper, another envelope with gesso and a window. You can see Sally through the window, baby Sally. And then this page that says, look. This is a picture of me when I was a toddler, and when you look at it next to Baby Sally, you can see why they called me Baby Sally in the first grade. Everybody thought I was in the reader. And then this is a fold-out map of Houston, which is where I grew up. And on this side is a little tuck with some dogs and cats. Place to journal on the back of that. Little doggies on this bookmark. And then there's a little up tuck here in an envelope. Little piece of that envelope that just has some more photographs of kids and their dogs. Tracing paper, coffee dyed paper. This one got a bit of color on it, which I think I like. Franken paper, the back of the Franken paper. Another Franken tag. I think I need to make some more of these. I really like these. Those are napkins on the back of this one. And a rub-on. Washi tape on the edge. Here's a little dragonfly. It started out as a rubber stamp, but then I took different colors and drew around it. There's a little tag in a corner pocket. This is from one of my plant books. And it's a little transparent pocket that it goes in and place to write on the back. And this pocket, this flip-up corner, has a surprise inside. I wish I'd quit hitting the camera. There you go. There's a little dog, Snoopy. How about that? And then the grasshopper page with stickers. This is napkin over watercolor, scrapbook paper. And this is a vintage wildflower mix seeds, with seeds still in them. And just a little journaling card behind it. Has a little piece of lace through an eyelet as a tab. Here's another little transparent pocket. It has this little fella on it with field notes. This is a rub-on. And a place to journal in the back. Ledger paper. Coffee dyed. Coffee dyed with gold and copper powders. Here's another picture from the Dick and Jane books. A little tuck spot. This is another, the other side of that envelope with the brayered ink on it. And just a little card on the a tag on the inside. I think this is a K & Company tag for journaling. And it makes a lot of good color on it. Little sticker. And the last page, no, that's not the last page of the book. It's the next to last page. And another little tuck spot with K & Company trim. And this little pocket has a little girl washing her dog, or about to wash the dog. I'm not sure the dog's excited about it. Are they ever? Some are, I guess, and some aren't. Okay, and then this is washi tape. This is a little page that has a sewn fabric collage with just different types of fabric, paper, ribbon, a stamp, a postage stamp, and a button. And then just watercolor paper on the back, watercolor on the back of a scrapbook paper. And here's another kind of dog. Yes, indeedy. A hound dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You know, I had more fun putting pictures in this book with dogs. This is a library card that I folded down, a library pocket that I folded down, made a tuck spot behind it, a tuck spot inside it, a pocket actually inside it. This I cut out the window and put the little picture of the dogs behind it. And the last page of the book. And that's the end of the Poky Little Puppy journal. So I really have had fun making it. I've had fun making the others. I have 3 more that are right at the end, and I'm just about ready to show them to you, do a flip through the whole thing, and then put them on my Etsy shop. So I hope you come back to see my little journals. And I think I have one more journal that's my journal that I'm going to show you before I put the little Golden Book journals up for sale. I'm going to show one more journal that I made from after I took Nick the Booksmith's workshop. And it was really fun. And I have one I always, as I said, keep the first one that I make. So I have some more in the works of those too. So anyway, we'll see you later, and thank you for coming by and checking out what's going on here. See you later. Bye.